For a series with virtually no history between Oregon and Oklahoma State, it didn't look like there was going to be much to talk about entering Monday, but there certainly was by Monday night after Mike Gundy sounded off about how much Oregon commits by way of resources, how much spending it does by way of NIL and other things. And that elicited a response from Dan Lanning. So for a nationally televised game that, as I say, really didn't look like there was going to be much to talk about heading into it, with a 4-touchdown point spread and the like, all of a sudden there's national interest in a matchup between the Cowboys and the Ducks. Oregon, of course, coming off a really impressive performance, albeit against Montana State. Oklahoma State coming off a win over UT Martin, in which its quarterback got hurt, so backup coming into this game. And really a whole new coaching staff other than Mike Gundy, and nearly an entirely new roster. So on the field, there will still be a lot of new faces for both teams. Still plenty to take a look at there. But off the field is where the storyline is entering this Saturday. As much as we've talked about the inexperience and the youth of Oregon's roster and how that would look relative talent-wise and some of the questions we had entering the season, Oklahoma State had even more. An entirely new coaching staff, 62 new players in their first year with the program, many of whom were transfers, many of whom arrived after spring practice. So they didn't know much in Stillwater by way of what that team would look like entering the season. I'm not sure they know much after 1 week, particularly when their starting quarterback goes down. So there's still a lot of questions for Oklahoma State entering this game on the field. There's not a lot of tape for Oregon to go off of, certainly only one game with a new coaching staff and the like, so you're going back to old tendencies of what the staff did in prior stops. And still some questions for Oregon, quite frankly. They did really well next to a flawless performance against Montana State in the opener, but when you play 78 players, 60 of them or more before halftime, not that many reps for some guys, but nonetheless some really valuable ones. So still some personnel things to take a look at all over the field, and a matchup that still is facing to be pretty lopsided entering this one. The talent gap is pretty significant, and we'll see how it looks like on the field on Saturday.